Hi, Jack.
How are you?
You mentioned taking the plants to the garden centre.
Oh. And what? Oh, is that what they've done? If people are listening, to this, it just looks like a very sad little sort of twig that you're holding up now. It's
Yes.
with a leaf hanging off it, a dried up leaf hanging off it. What did they say at the garden centre?
No, I mean, I'm not taking that to the garden centre. Are you mad? Look at that. That is well and truly.
I thought you said you'd taken it along to the garden centre.
No, you said take it to the garden centre. Hang on.
Yeah.
And obviously I'm not taking that. Look at that.
Well,
we were to walk in with that. Hello. Do you think you could
didn't
save this little twig with a leaf hanging off it?
That
looks like something.
It didn't look like that when we talked about it last time.
No.
It looked okay. No. It looked salvageable when you showed it to us last time.
It's not even in a pot anymore.
No, you've just yanked it out.
No, it fell. I moved it because I thought, I might take that to the garden centre, and I moved it, and that just fell off and fell out of the pot.
Okay.
It looks like, I tell you, so to the listener, it looks like a kind of just a dark brown piece of ginger. If it were ginger.
Yes. If it was a piece of ginger root, yeah.
Yes, and I think that's not salvageable. I'm not taking that into the gardens.
I think
that would look mad. That would be like if you took just a steering wheel into a car mechanics and went, "Can you fix my car, please?" I think there's.
I wish you would take it in, and they'd say, "Yeah, it's actually a ginger root," and that. All you've been doing is growing ginger without knowing it. Oh, it's just not.
Yeah,
I'm sure there are podcasts about this stuff anyway that people can listen to. But anyway, I'm sorry. Sorry it's not worked out. But we are dog centric, as you know.
We are. I know we're dog centric, and to bring it back to some positive news, Mildred took Mildred to the groomers. Haircut, very short, so much lighter.
Yes.
Jack. Did you ever have a long, like a dog with? Because I know you had the sausage dogs.
No,
we had a really heavy, lots of hair.
They were smooth hairs, so we never had them. They never had to be groomed like that. But I saw the picture you sent through on WhatsApp, and Mildred looks like a different dog, frankly.
Mildred thinks it's a different dog. And she thinks that it's a Mildred's baby. She's going, Mildred's baby.
Oh no!
Wilder. That's Mildred with a haircut.
You should have taken Wilder with you to see Mildred having a haircut, and then she'd know. Instead, she's just confused.
More irresponsible parenting.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Next time. No, you're right. No. That's actually a very good idea. But it's given. I'm trying to explain the haircut. No, haircut. Hair long, hair short.
Okay. Yeah.
Show her the photos.
Yes, that's a good idea. Show her the photos.
Show her the before and after.
Were there? Yeah. Did you take photos while it was being done?
Oh no, I'm off. What are you? I'm out of there.
You just went for a coffee, did you?
Absolutely.
Just left her to it.
Yeah. When Mildred, it takes. It took a couple of hours.
Seriously,
there were quite a few. Yeah.
No, you don't take 2 hours to cut a dog's hair. I think now is an hour and 45 minutes in a cage waiting her turn.
No, absolutely not.
No, I don't believe that.
You're genuinely seem surprised by that.
Yeah, I am surprised by that. Was it a wash as well? Did you have a wash as well?
The whole shebang. The nails, teeth, nice teeth.
Fair enough. Okay.
All the hair off, and then a nice little haircut on top. She's got a kind of little mini afro on the top of her head, bow tie.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah. Nice.
I thought you were going to say Botox then.
Yeah, got massive lips now.
We've got her on the Ozempic. She demands that. She's on the Ozempic. No, she. But guess how? I was. You're shocked about 2 hours. I was shocked about this. This was news to me.
Yeah.
I've got a package, Jack.
Oh, God. Someone's in that's going to take it. Sorry, did you hear that? It's something, I don't know what it is.
Do you want to go get the package?
No, I don't care what it is. They can leave it on the doorstep like they always do.
Yeah.
or literally inside the bin.
Yes,
in one
I know.
case for me.
Yeah.
I don't look in the bin.
Well, I don't get how sometimes I'll open the front door and there will be a package on the front door, and I've been in all day. They didn't ring; they just put it there. Anyway, we were talking about grooming.
Yes, grooming. Yes, and right. How often do you think that the groomers advise that I take Mildred back in for the groomers?
If I was a groomer, I'd say it needs to be done every fortnight.
Well, that's you'd be very.
The groomer's advice would be come as often as you can, please, because really this dog needs her wash and blow dry. How often did they say? How often did they say?
6 weeks.
Every 6 weeks. That's actually more than I thought they was going to say.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
Money.
Yeah, I think
how much is it?
Yeah, how much it cost?
That was it was about I think it was over £100.
Wow,
That is expensive.
do you know how much Juniper's is?
How much?
30 quid.
Yeah, but you're in Bedford. Come on.
What's that got to do with it?
Of course, it's 30 quid.
Hers takes an hour and a half.
Yeah, I get a haircut cost 20 quid. My haircut 20 quid. That's what that's the most I've ever spent on a haircut.
Oh wow!
Yeah. No, well, don't sound so surprised. That was not convincing. And admittedly, there isn't a lot to do these days. But I'm still saying, I'm comparing.
Yeah.
But your guy in Brighton, your hairdresser in Brighton, who came on the show some time ago, is he less expensive than what you did for Mildred?
Absolutely less expensive.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do my nails and brush my teeth. To be fair to him.
Okay. Yeah, you get
as much as I demand him. Yeah, come on, do my teeth. Come on, give me a body wax. Give me a wax kit. Give me a.
You brush my teeth for me while I'm here.
Back and crack, please. Get that off.
No.
Sorry, apologies. So how often? So Sara, how often do you take Juniper to the groomers?
Every 2 months.
All right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That sounds sensible. I think I'll stick with that.
She's really busy, so that's as much as she could fit me in, probably.
I thought you were going to say Juniper's really busy. I thought that's what you meant. The groomer's really busy. Yeah. And then, but she doesn't have to have a haircut, really, does she? Or does she?
No, just around the pores.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, sweet.
Oh, right.
No.
And I was Jack. I don't think this will be a problem with Dolly, because obviously she's carried most of the time. But Sara, what are you doing about muddy paws in this season that we're in? When Juniper gets back to the house, is there a routine that you have, and what is it?
So I've started to. I actually got her some paw balm the other day.
Oh,
and I wiped
That's
her
fancy.
paws. Yes, well, I was reading that with it was so icy that people are using de-icers, and that can trickle down off the car and go into the pavements. And when they're walking,
oh my lord,
it can put
That's
damage
something
their
I've not
paws.
considered.
no.
Yeah,
Wow.
so
Well done.
So I thought I'd give them a wipe, and then I put this balm on her, and it's really made a difference to her paws. They're really supple and soft now, and I didn't realise they were quite rough before, so that worked instantly. So I really like doing that.
Are they supposed to be kept quite smooth rather than dried out?
Well, I think it sort of protects them a little bit.
Yeah.
Because obviously if they're dry, then they could crack. And it's been so cold
Yes,
that her
it
little
sure
feet
has,
were freezing when we came in.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so that's quite nice.
I had to get the coat on because Mildred's hair is so short now. We had to get the coat on her, and she hated it.
Did she?
Absolutely hated it. I think she felt ashamed
to
be wearing this coat.
What sort of coat is it? A nice coat? What you got for her? What is it? Just a fleecy type one or quilted?
Quilted, yeah. Barber.
Is it a barber one? Is it a barber?
Yeah, but it's actually one of the first. Probably the first time she dragged me home. She just seemed so embarrassed.
So fed up with the coat.
I cannot be seen. I
Didn't
cannot
enjoy
be
it.
seen in public with this jacket. Look at me, I look ridiculous. I've got a coat underneath this coat. What do I need another coat for? Get me in. And I wondered, maybe was it too cold with her hair short? But actually, when I tested that, and I tried to put the coat on her again. She was absolutely not having it, and
Not
it was
having
the
it.
coat and not the
Yeah,
weather.
it really bothered her.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
even know. I mean, with a coat like she's got, her natural coat.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they actually need to wear anything to keep warm.
Just because it was so short, though. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I must admit, even Dolly had a coat. We put a coat on her, and it was really freezing. She's fairly nonchalant about the whole thing. Well, I put it on in. If you reckon it's that cold, I'll go out in the cold. Put a coat on, won't I? But she knows she'll be carried anyway. And then when it comes to keeping clean, she tiptoes around puddles and stuff. If it's on a narrow path, she'll always go around the edge and stay more or less immaculately clean. She can't, she's...
doesn't like the puddles.
Oh, no, of course not.
That's fantastic.
No, she goes around, she'll tiptoe around them. So, let's stay at this. The council should do something around it. It's a puddle here.
Sarah, how's Juniper with puddles?
Yeah, she doesn't really go into puddles very much, actually. But I was going to say, I put her in a jumper and coat the other day because it was that freezing.
Very nice. Yeah. Did she like it? Was she okay with it?
She doesn't love putting it on.
No.
But then she's fine. And I think, because she's so low to the ground, she's practically touching the ice, the tummy.
Yes.
So I thought she needed that.
Yeah. But her mate Daisy, the Bassett, does Daisy have a coat?
She does. She's got a really fancy coat, actually. Because they met up the other day. I was going to tell you.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, we had a nice little play date. And I was really relieved because I was worried that Juniper, she's been reacting to, big dogs.
Of course.
Sure.
I was thinking, how's this going to go?
Yeah.
But actually, they were delighted to see each other.
Yeah.
And I posted a little video. They were so happy.
Oh,
so
sweet.
much tail wagging.
Oh,
just
lovely.
Really, so that put my mind at rest somewhat. But Daisy, she goes to that park that we went to quite a lot. So she's got some doggy mates around and she went off to see them and Juniper was having none of it. She didn't want to go and socialise.
No,
she just wanted to hang out with Daisy or not at all.
Yes.
So I just think now she definitely doesn't like other dogs that much.
Yeah. Or she's maybe she's picky and thinks, no, I know
picky.
who my friends are. I don't need to know all the dogs in the park. It's I like Daisy. It's don't make assumptions just because I'm a dog that I want to meet other dogs constantly. We're all the same, aren't we? Just because I'm a person, I don't want to meet other people all the time.
Oh God, yeah.
I know enough people, and that's fine. I don't want to go up and talk to other ones, just because we're in the park at the same time.
And that's what. But ironically, of course, that's what dogs end up making you do.
Yes, they do. It is a very socialising thing to have. It is very socialising. It is absolutely. I'm glad to hear that. And
how's Dolly?
Well, she's really well actually. She's. I think she's kind of. Jen and I feel that she's kind of showing signs of getting older because one of the problems is we've never known exactly how old she was when we got her.
Of course.
So we think she's certainly no less than 12 years old and probably about 14, which is, good going for a dog. But little dogs, they do last a lot longer. Yeah. She's got loads of life in her, but we're slightly concerned that she's maybe having problems with hearing or, the couple of times we thought, is that because she couldn't hear us or what's going on? So we're just monitoring it. And but she's really well. And
good.
Yeah.
Can they test hearing?
I imagine they must be able to with dogs. I think Simon told us that you can sort of click your fingers in one direction and see if they turn to it,
right?
And have a look. I think you look out for those signs, but she still hears when Jane's car pulls up, and she'll be out by the front door, waiting.
Oh,
Something she doesn't always do when my car turns up. Yeah,
double locks the door.
I know she'll still be on the sofa going, "No, it's only Dad. He's coming back to me." But she loves to she's on the sofa covered in rugs and blankets. She just sort of hibernates on a cold day, so it's quite nice. Yeah, they seem to sort of know what to do. Yeah.
Yes. Lovely.
And
we have a wonderful guest on today.
We do.
Before we speak to him, should we have a quick
Let's have a look at
an email?
Let's have a look at our emails we got here.
Yes. We got the first one. This is from Craig.
Yeah.
It says, hello, Jack, Seann and Sara. Love the podcast. Thank you. I've been listening for a while now, laughing at all the tales. I have a big black German Shepherd who is absolutely gorgeous and absolutely crazy in equal measure, and most definitely not the dog I read up about and was expecting. But she's gorgeous and a never-ending source of entertainment. I was working in Greasby. Is that Greasby on the Wirral?
I guess, yeah.
Greasby on the Wirral, and saw this shop and thought I had to share it with you. So, sorry, you've got a photo.
I do. Hold on one sec.
So,
So, I'm not happy about that.
a shop called Oh My Dog.
Okay. Well,
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Expect the lawyers to be in touch.
There'll be that won't be there next week. Don't worry about that. Either that or we won't.
Hello, you're listening to Woof Woof with myself.
Yeah, we tried to sue the shop in Wirral, but it backfired, and we've had to call ourselves.
So yes, Craig says, keep up the good work. Nice to hear. Sean, nice to hear. Oh, that's nice.
No, go on, read it. Go on, read it out. This is the bit you wanted to get to, isn't it? Go on.
Now it's the good stuff.
Yeah.
Nice to hear Sean on Mark Steele WTF podcast as well this weekend. Thanks also for the heads up for the Dead Competitive podcast, which was a good listen too. What's the Dead Competitive?
I don't know. What is Craig your new agent or something? Why does he like you so much? I think we need to edit these emails more carefully. So did you... I don't know what it is either.
I'm glad you enjoyed the Dead Competitive podcast that I don't know, Craig.
And also, thanks for letting us know about the shop in Wirral. But that's always good to always good to have our spies out there. You know.
Well, speaking of, go on. Sorry.
I was just going to say, Pete is waiting.
Yeah,
okay.
Pete Wicks is a TV presenter, author, and podcaster. He was in The Only Way is Essex and has appeared on numerous celebrity shows such as Celebrity Island with Bear Grylls, Celebrity SAS, Who Dares Wins, and Strictly Come Dancing. He wrote a book about French bulldogs, and he's a true animal advocate, going to South Korea with a rescue team to save 170 dogs from a dog meat farm.
Oh.
He's currently presenting For Dog's Sake on U&W, all about a Dogs Trust rehoming centre. So in Pete's case, actually, we do want to hear about all his amazing achievements and get to know him through his dogs.
What's happening? Yeah. I'm so sorry if I'm late.
Don't be sorry, you're not late.
I just
you're
do
not
what I'm
late.
told. I'm a puppet.
Yeah,
absolutely. No, thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me, mate.
So, Pete, it's lovely to have you on. Let's just dive straight in. And why don't you tell us about your love of dogs?
My love of dogs. I mean, I can only really begin with a sentence that I tell everyone, which is that I prefer dogs to people.
Right, yes, a very popular opinion on this show.
Absolutely prefer dogs to people. No offence to people, but I despise them.
None taken.
I've never met a bad dog.
Yes.
That guy, I just think they're angels on earth. And I'm sure you've heard it a million times before, but I'm that guy that would rather spend time with dogs than anything else.
Were you had dogs in your upbringing and preferred them from that point onwards, or? Yeah,
I mean, I was a weird child. I'm going to be honest with you. Slightly dog-like. I didn't really do toys. I was obsessed with sticks. But I had don't ask. Don't worry, I didn't play pets or anything. It's not like a weird, but I just really liked sticks. But I had a wooden dog with wheels that I used to just drag around on a bit of string. And, you know, I'm sure most kids sort of like hug teddy bears and that. I just used to hug a wooden dog. So I got my first rescue dog when I was about 10. And he was amazing. I was just obsessed with him. He was called Arnie, and the reason they called him Arnie is because he was thrown out of a moving car and
oh my lord!
Whoever had him before, but he actually went back to the property they'd moved, so they called him Arnie, as in Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back.
I'll be back.
Yeah, and he was just amazing. So yeah, I think that's really where it came from.
That's amazing. From that point on, so that's quite an early age, 10. Did you then have dogs in your life for the up until now?
Yeah, completely.
You just constantly been with dogs.
Yeah, because I'm so blessed to do a lot of the things that I do. Like I don't have any talent. I don't, I'm just a bit of a no mark. But having dogs,
that's not true. I've seen your moves on Strictly. You've got talent.
You must be joking, mate. I've got about as much rhythm as a three-legged donkey. I think I'll be out in week 1. How I managed to get that right, I genuinely thought that at some point the public were just playing a bit of a joke on me. But yeah, dogs have just always made life better, through good times, bad times, whatever it is. And I think the main reason that I love dogs is based on the fact that they don't care where you've been. They don't care what you look like. They just give you love unconditionally, and they're all so happy to see you. And I just love that. They just make me feel happy and safe.
And at the moment, you've got 2 French Bull Terriers. Is that right?
I've got 2 French Bulldogs, and they are both rescues, Eric and Peggy.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And I'm just obsessed with them both. I really am. I hate when people kind of, call dogs pets. They're part of my family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just adore them both.
Yeah. And how long have you had? Did you just find them? Is it a coincidence, or did you fancy having a French Bulldog? Because I love French Bulldogs as well. I think they're great dogs.
Yeah, I had a French Bulldog before Eric and Peggy, and part of that kind of journey, I actually did a book on it a few years ago. Is that I just became obsessed with French Bulldogs because of the aesthetic thing. 10 years ago, that they were just like lovely to look at. I really love big dogs, but I didn't have the time or the space to have a big dog. And French Bulldogs are kind of like big dog personalities in kind of small dogs.
Yeah.
So, and the French Bulldog I had before, unfortunately, he had a heart murmur from birth, and he had a heart attack when he was like 3.5. It was really sad. So
that's tough.
Yeah, it was awful. And Eric, actually, I had Eric at the time, and Eric was still a puppy, and it was in kind of the middle of the night, and Eric woke me up, and Ernest was having a heart attack in the bathroom. We rushed him to the vets, and he didn't make it. And then me and Eric we slept in the bathroom for 3 weeks because Eric wouldn't leave the bathroom. It was
oh my God, that's heartbreaking.
And that's kind of how I ended up with Peggy. Is that Eric just really missed having another dog. Eric is needy. Let's say that. But Eric actually came from Dogs Trust, which is where I've just done this kind of new show, and it was a real full circle moment because 9 years ago I got him, and then going back there to be able to kind of film for Dog's Sake was it was a bit of a full circle moment.
How did he end up at Dogs Trust? What was his history? Do you know?
Yeah, Eric was smuggled in because it was kind of during that time where these kind of designer breeds like French Bulldogs and like Pomeranians and Dachshunds, everyone was just desperate to have them sort of dogs. So there was a problem with puppy smuggling and all that sort of stuff. And he was smuggled in with his brother and sister in a box and then kind of left in a lorry. And,
oh my Lord!
The sister didn't survive, and him and his brother did. But he had terrible skin conditions and all sorts of things. And then Peggy had just the worst upbringing. She's got one eye. And she was really badly mistreated, and I won't go into gory details, but they found her wandering around with her eye hanging out and all sorts of stuff.
Oh my, for goodness sake!
So and she's incredibly dog reactive, but so we didn't know if I'd be able to take her, but Eric is so pathetic that she just doesn't bother. He's basically a loaf of bread with legs. He's amazing. He's the most submissive dog in the world, and she's just an angel. She loves people and whatnot, and they're just a perfect little balance of kind of good cop, bad cop.
Oh, it's lovely.
Do you think there's anything that could be done to reduce the number of rescues out there, in something to be done to stop puppy farms and importing dogs illegally or anything like that? What should we be thinking about doing? And
yeah, massively. I mean, I was part of kind of Lucy's Law. I did a lot of stuff on Lucy's Law, which came into action a few years ago.
So what was that?
Yeah, what's
to do with puppy farming? Overbred dogs and whatnot. And the problem is a lot of dogs are still smuggled in from Europe and other places because it's it's illegal to kind of do so here in terms of puppy farms and puppy mills. But from a lot of places in Europe that still happens, and we saw a couple of cases in the show I've just done where dogs are pregnant. They are smuggled into the UK because it's a lot cheaper to smuggle in one dog. They smuggle them in when they're heavily pregnant, these breeding mums, and then they give birth over here, and then they're taken back to whichever country they're from to repeat the process, and they're just used like a conveyor belt, and it's horrific, and it's very hard to do anything about that when it's not within your own country. But really, I think it's for people, and the only way to reduce that is to stop buying puppies from Craigslist and Gumtree and all these kind of stupid places.
Oh, that's a really good piece of advice.
Yeah,
thank you. I'm sure our listeners will pay attention to that.
And they look at all these kind of sites and these puppies available, and you see mum and you don't see dad, and there's pictures as if it's happened. And quite often as well, and the way people get around it is that they use similar breeds, mum and dads, that are not actually the mum and dad of the puppies. So it's kind of, you can see mum and you can see dad, and they come from great lines. And a lot of time what happens is you end up with dogs that are kind of inbred and have got so many health issues and whatnot, and that leads a lot of people with a cost of living crisis and everything to kind of end up dumping their dogs in rescue homes because they can't afford vet bills and medical bills, especially for the flat nosed breeds like the Bracky breeds. Trying to insure them is quite expensive because they're prone to so many problems. So it happens quite a lot. And then, the other kind of, sorry, I waffle a lot.
No, it's fantastic.
This is what we love to hear.
Yeah.
But another problem you get is that people have this idea of wanting a dog. Lockdown and COVID was a huge problem because people were at home. What can I do? I can get a dog. And then they go back to work and then wonder why the dog is chewing up the gaff. Well, it's because you've got a husky in a one-bed flat, mate. Do you know what I mean? Not ideal, is it? So really researching the kind of breed you want and researching whether or not your life and your lifestyle can actually facilitate having a dog is so important because they just want a bit of love, safety and stability, and if you can't give them that as much as you love dogs, don't do it.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's so heartbreaking to think that we are all to some extent part of the cycle that perpetuates this problem when because responsible dog owners are seen as around, and people would like to have a dog as well, and then they go out and do it the wrong way. But I firmly believe it is right to promote the idea that you should not be thinking of getting your dog from anything other than a qualified puppy breeder, and don't go and buy it in a car park at a service station or something.
It's absolutely wild. It's absolutely wild. And obviously I've got rescue dogs and I do a lot of work on the rescue side of stuff, but that's not anything against the reputable breeders that are there, because if you've got a specific dog in mind that kind of suits what you want, then absolutely you just have to be so careful about where you get them from, because it can, what ensues is a lot of heartache.
I mean, taking us to the even darker area of that, I know you've been very involved in a campaign in South Korea. Tell us about that, Pete.
Wow.
And you've got a program out there, I know, on
for Dog's Sake, on U&W.
U&W. First episode was last Tuesday. It's on every Tuesday at 9 p.m. and then you can stream the whole thing on you.
Can I just let you know, Pete? I was crying from 7 minutes in.
Yeah.
And I was texted. I paused it. No, I know. I was keeping it together, but I paused it and texted Jack and Seann and said, "I'm bawling here," because it was Mel who was the pregnant dog that was brought in, and that was so harrowing and heartbreaking. But what's so lovely about the show is you're experiencing it all too. So
absolutely,
we're watching it as viewers, and you're there, and you're visibly moved by everything that's happening around you as well. It's just amazing.
It's listening to you talk now and just hearing how passionate you are. You are the perfect person for this show. I saw the first episode. It's absolutely amazing. To our listeners, go and watch it for Dog's Sake on U&W. I mean, Sara says there it took her 7 minutes. I watched it today, was in tears before the montage at the beginning had ended. And I thought, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. And I watch you on the show having to experience and witness these problems that you're doing such a great job of trying to sort and put to bed. And you're in bits as well. What I want to know is, how did you manage getting through this show? It was such an emotional battle for you.
Mate, we thankfully the edit was kind to me, because otherwise you just would have had hours worth of me crying uncontrollably.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
But it's similar to I did some stuff in South Korea. I went to dog meat farms in South Korea with an amazing charity called Humane Society to rescue. We took 174 dogs out of a dog meat farm, and
extortionate.
Yeah, 160 went over to America, and then we brought some back here, and I fostered a couple. And these dogs are dogs that have never been. A mixture of dogs that have never been in homes, never seen anything other than kind of living their life in kind of 2-foot mesh cages with no flooring. They've just seen the worst of humanity. And part of the reason that I went out there and part of the reason that I wanted to do for dog's sake is based on the fact that we all hate the idea of animal cruelty. Of course we do. I don't know anyone, and you'd be absolutely wrong if you were quite happy to see an animal being tortured or neglected or whatever else. But the problem is that people go, oh, I don't want to see that. I can't see it. It's too upsetting. If you don't see it, you don't do anything about it. And that's kind of why I wanted to go out to Korea and see that. And it's one of the most horrific things I've ever experienced in my life. But similarly to this show, there were so many stories that we didn't air of dogs that had been neglected, abandoned, and it was so shut down that it's heartbreaking. It's genuinely heartbreaking. But what the guys at Dogs Trust, which is where I filmed it, and not just Dogs Trust, other charities and rehoming centres, the guys there, what they do and the process it takes in order to get some of these dogs rehabilitated to a point where they're able to be rehomed is nothing short of a miracle sometimes, because the trust that dogs still manage to find and love they still manage to find in us as humans, despite being treated so horrifically, is it's inspirational. It's outstanding. But it is tough. It's really, really tough. Yeah. You just have to kind of remember that you're kind of trying to make their lives better. But it's all about the dogs. Everything's always about the dogs, you know what I mean? And it was tough for me, but it's nothing in comparison to what the guys at these centres have to deal with day in, day out. Yeah. And more importantly, nothing in comparison to what the dogs have been through. So you kind of have to put it to a side and just see. And
do you feel you're making progress over there? Progress is being made, or is it still a hopeless situation?
Yeah. Korea, there's been a lot of progress made. Actually, it's because part and parcel of Korea, especially, is that it wasn't illegal. So dog meat farms were completely legal. And a lot of the time it happens in kind of poorer areas, and a lot of people have kind of been born into it as family businesses because there's a lack of work and everything else. So what Humane Society International do is they give grants to them, enable them to set up another business, whether it be kind of water delivery or tomato farming or whatever else, and they have to be willing to hand over their dogs and kind of give up the farm, and that's a tough decision for these guys because it's all they've ever known. So there's an element of kind of understanding that it's a means to an end for some people, but still the horrific abuse and the way the dogs are treated is something you just can't imagine. You genuinely can't imagine. I told you some of the story. It's just horrific. But from this year, there has been changes made over there, and you can read all about that over at HSI. They've got a big thing on, and if you Google it, but it's actually they're going to be shutting down all farms over there. Great. They're going to make it an illegal thing.
Fantastic.
For years, I went up to Parliament out there and did all sorts of stuff, and it's been a long process. But changes are now being made and people are starting to see. And actually, we had South Korean ambassador actually adopted one of the dogs from a dog meat farm and has started making kind of changes. And there are changes being made, but it's a slow process with anything when you're trying to kind of make changes and make a bit of a difference. But
well done on your contribution.
Yeah, well done.
Very small part on my side of things. You know what I mean, mate? It's the same as kind of this show. I've been blessed to have a little bit of a platform for some unknown reason. And if you can do something good with it, then it will make up for the horrendous things I've done in my life.
Yeah. redemption is on its way. So there are 6 episodes. Are there 6 episodes to the series?
4 episodes. 4 episodes, 4 hour long episodes. And it's. And
is it right to say it's not all doom and gloom? Is it? You've got there's some bits in it that good.
Yeah. I mean, I know I've just made it sound like everything is.
Well, we know that this is what the first episode is focusing on, but I think there's some other stuff that is more uplifting as well.
Very uplifting and heartwarming as well. I think
it's an emotional roller coaster, but you get to see some beautiful happy endings.
Great,
lots and lots of puppies, and who doesn't love puppies? And some really beautiful. And I hate using that kind of TV word, but journeys of the dogs. So I like I said, I'm biased, but I'm very proud of it, and it's a good show, and it might have my name on it, but the nice thing about it is it's nothing to do with me. It's to do with the dogs and the people that work there, and that's the most important thing.
Well, that's it, because the people that work there restore your faith in humanity.
Absolutely,
because they're so. You can just see, when you're having a moment of finding it really difficult, they're there to say, yeah, but it's okay.
It's pure passion.
They're being rehomed. The dogs that are there are actually all right.
Yeah, so quite often actually it's us that deal with it worse than the dogs. The dogs have been through some of the hardest things in the world, and then listen to stories, and then then that's the beautiful thing about dogs. The dogs are comforting us. You know what I mean? We're crying about a dog, and the dog's like,
Now, just quickly to bring it back to Eric and Peggy.
Yeah.
What kind of should we say dad? Are you a dad to Eric?
I'm a dog dad. Yeah, dog dad.
You're a dog dad. What kind of dog dad are you? Are Eric and Peggy well behaved? Are they well trained?
Eric is
off the lead.
Yeah, Eric.
What are we talking?
Angel. Absolutely.
Okay.
He's my good child.
Yes.
And then we have Peggy. Peggy does what Peggy wants whenever Peggy wants to do it. I am not like a kind of dog parent that wants my dog to do tricks and like spin round and dance and do all sorts of stuff.
Sure.
I'm a dog parent that wants my dogs to be happy. They are kind of trained, both of mine, to be fair, but just as dogs, and I think that's really important. As much as I call them like my dog kids and I'm a dog dad, I remember they're dogs, and dogs love to do dog things, and that's great, and I want them to do them things and live their lives as the best dogs they possibly can, not make them do things for kind of my entertainment. And I think sometimes people do that when they treat their animals and dogs like actual children. They don't eat off a fork or at the table, they eat bowls on the floor like they're dogs. And I love that. They're just very dogs. That's a really good thing. So
I'm presuming they're on the furniture. They're allowed on the furniture.
But we have stopped the in-bed thing. The in-bed thing doesn't happen anymore.
It stopped. You stopped it.
I stopped it.
What's that? What brought it to a stop?
I stopped it because I thought that might be the reason that I was still single, and then realised it's nothing to do with the dogs, it's me. But also, I've got French bulldogs, and listen, French bulldogs notoriously, it's the snoring. I couldn't deal with it. Because the problem is that they snore alternatively. So it's one constant. Because it would be an alternate. So I just couldn't deal with it. It was like white noise in the background. And I just,
So did they take to that easily, being booted out of the bed? Is it,
Peggy was all right. Peggy was good as gold. Eric, not so much. And I did. I mean, I kind of defeated the object really, because I think for the kind of period where I kind of stopped that, I slept on the sofa with Eric for quite a bit. So really. But no, because they have each other, they're quite good at it. But I think if
that's
you
very nice.
You get your dog, start that early, because it's very difficult. You know what they say? It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So where are they now? Are they in a different room altogether in their own bed?
They're downstairs. They've got multiple beds at different corners of the room. But they don't use them. They just lie straight on the sofa, which is lovely for all the dog hair. So it's wonderful. So I've got one of them sofas now that is just covered in rugs and dog blankets. You know what I mean?
I've got a Frenchie in my family, and I think she almost never needs a bath. Do you find that with Eric and Peggy?
Exactly the same. Do you know what? One of the things that people don't know about Frenchies, and it's the biggest bane of my life, because I'm not a particularly colourful person. I like to wear black. He French's malt so bad that because they're short-haired, the hair, it just doesn't come out.
It sticks in, doesn't it? It sticks in like needles, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just constantly covered in dog hair.
Yeah.
You must look like, with your long hair and a beard and covered in dog hair, you must look like a wolf.
Yeah, I look like literally. I look a little bit like I potentially woke up in a wheelie bin, and it's an absolute nightmare. I'm just covered in dog hair and stuff all the time. It doesn't help with my hair that I look like a spaniel as well. You know what I mean?
Now, Pete, we ask all of our guests this, and I think we all have an idea of what the answer is going to be. But do you let your Eric and Peggy kiss you on the mouth?
I mean,
Sigh, big sigh.
yes. Yeah, I am that person. I mean, like, not in a weird way, but I like a face lick from a dog. Do you know what I mean? Like, and
Yes.
especially working with dogs and doing all this sort of stuff. Dogs, you can't help it, and I always feel a bit rude if I was like, "Going, get off." So I'm like, it's fine. And I know it's a big bone of contention, excuse the pun, for people because they, some people don't like it, do they really? But I'll be honest with you, I've probably been worse places than they have. So,
I think that's for a different podcast.
Yeah, it's probably worse for them than it is for me.
Well, that's a brilliant answer.
Yes.
Thank you very, very much for coming on and being so honest. And I think I can speak for all our listeners as well when I say thank you for everything you're doing for dogs.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really, really crucial and amazing work to be doing.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. And honestly, I absolutely love the podcast. So it's an absolute pleasure to.
Bless you. I look forward to catching the rest of the series.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right.
Come on
Take
again
care,
soon,
Pete. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. I think we should get him on again, actually, at some point, because it's a journey, isn't it, to follow through. I mean, he's so prolific in what he's doing. He's doing so much.
To have someone as authoritative as that, talking about the very subject that we keep touching on, is rescue dogs and so on and so forth. But actually working at the coalface of that problem is really brilliant.
Fantastic guest.
Yes. Really outstanding guest in terms of his involvement with dogs,
Yes.
Something that I think, we should concern ourselves more with that whole thing of like dog welfare. I think it's such a big thing. And everyone who listens to this podcast will completely understand that. That there's always more that we can do, but that's and as you know, we don't really plug anything on this program. People don't come on to plug their projects, but in this case, I would say do watch For Dog's Sake, which is on U and W. I have to admit, I didn't know what U and W was. Is it a new name for something old? Or?
I think it's a new name for UK Gold.
That's a prize winner of a new name, isn't it? That's almost as good as X, formerly known as Twitter. The thing that never actually caught on. I mean, who thinks up this stuff? It's like the chairman of Coca-Cola saying, "We're going to change the name now. It's called Brown Fizzy Drink from now on. No more Coca-Cola. It hasn't worked. It's Brown Fizzy Drink now."
The Channel Dave.
Oh yes,
is under the brand of UK Gold.
Yes.
So that's now called You and Dave.
Okay.
So it's not.
Okay, You and Dave.
You and not Dave. You and Dave.
I mean, look, who cares? Honestly, all these channels out there, get over yourselves. Just pick a name and stick with it. We don't care what you call yourselves. We care about the content. I always used to think UK Gold was Des O'Connor's favourite makeup. That was unnecessary.
Oh, dearie me.
Anyway.
Apple iPhone, they're now called One of Your Five a Day.
Yeah.
Slightly less catchy. I don't know. But yes, it's on U and W, which was formerly known as Watch. That's the W. It used to be called Watch. It's now U and W.
Yeah.
But you know, it's as I said to Pete, he was the perfect person to be fronting that show. His passion for dogs is clear for everyone to see. So do go and check that.
Certainly is. Thank you all for listening to Oh My Dog, and we hope you're enjoying getting to know a different side of our guests through their relationships with their dogs.
Yes, and please go and subscribe. We now have a YouTube channel. So please go and subscribe to that. It's doing us a huge favour. Thank you. You can also... the YouTube channel is at OMD Pod.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you go. The YouTube channel at OMD Pod. Keep on getting in touch, emailing us at hello@omdpod.com. And, of course, as always, find us on Instagram at OMD Pod. You can find lots of extra content there. Before we go, we do have a nice little lovely excerpt of you on the Chris Evans show on Virgin Radio.
I did.
We've gone mainstream.
I did do the Chris Evans show. He's a listener and a fan, and he was very generous about it. He's really rather too nice about you, Sean, I have to say. I was trying to get him to row back a bit, but yeah.
Well, you don't worry, everyone. You don't have to go now and open up a different app and try and find it, because guess what I've got?
You've recorded it, have you?
Obviously.
I better just say before we hear that, don't forget to give us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, a dog is for life, not just for podcasts.
The podcast is great, man. Oh My Dog is the podcast. I didn't know it was about dogs. I mean, it's got dog in it, but of course that's the old, oh my God, oh my dog, and this kind of stuff. But you really do genuinely love your dogs.
I do. We all do it with Sean Walsh and Sarah Morgan Beckett, and there's the three of us talking about our dogs. Really, it was Sean's idea because he got a dog, and then thought
he thought he was the first person in the world to have a dog.
Yeah, as you kind of do, I think. And so he rang me and said, "Do you want to do a podcast about dogs?" So I thought, well, why not? There aren't enough podcasts to start with, so let's do one. Let's make up the numbers. But we've been doing, I think we've done, we're coming up to our 100th show now.
Wow.
So it's fun to do.
What I love about the podcast is everything. Particularly what I love about it is the chemistry between the three of you. I also love the fact that because it's longer form, I can hear you laughing.
Yeah.
And sorry, I haven't got a clue, or you're you don't allow yourself to laugh because that's not going to be the right direction and flow of travel. But Sean really makes you laugh, doesn't he?
Oh, he does. Of course he does. And, there's a great chemistry there that happens. And with Sarah there, that's a kind of a mediating
No, you can just
factor.
cut there.
I
You can
think
just
it
cut
really
after.
works.
You don't need the Sarah bit.
I'll
stop it. You can just stop it now.
It's given me a place where I can just sort of relax and be myself.
Oh,
but
come
also
on.
kind of, contribute immediately.
I'm making it sound like a therapy. Yeah. It's giving me a place where I can relax and be myself.
Oh, well done, Jack. It's nice that you can
We
come
loved
here
it,
and be
Jack.
yourself.
It was lovely of Chris Evans to be so enthusiastic about it, and he's a dog owner as well. So maybe one day he'll come on and
Yeah,
tell us all
definitely.
about. I think Sparkle, his name is Whippet. He's got a Whippet.
Okay.
Yeah.
A rescue
Lovely.
Whippet. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Well, I'll see you all next week.